The first way that I'm different. Before I decided to run for office, I served my country. I raised my right hand and I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, in uniform. I graduated from the United States Naval Academy in 1992, and I did my first tour on the USS Dubuque in Sasebo, Japan. Now, it wasn't just the fact that I served in the Navy, but it's what I actually did that makes me different. In my first job, I was the repair division officer, which means that I supervised plumbers, and I was responsible for the ship's sewage system. So what that meant was, anything that went down the sewage system, when the sewage system got clogged or broken, that meant a sailor had to go into that sewage space to fix it. Before the sailor went in, it was my responsibility as the officer to certify that space safe for personnel and safe for hot work. So when I talk about putting on personal protective equipment and crawling through a sewage tank, I have experience getting my hands dirty. I did that job for 3 years. I know what it means to work. The next thing that I did, do you see this pen that's on my chest right now? That is the pen of a surface warfare officer. That means I am qualified to navigate ships from point A to point B. Do you remember last year in the news there were 2 ship collisions, one in Japan and one in Singapore, where unfortunately 17 sailors lost their lives? When I was operating as officer of the deck, I navigated the Straits of Singapore. I sailed in the South China Sea. I sailed along the Straits of Tsushima at night. I know what it's like to do that. In my second tour, I was officer in charge of the military department on the USNS Pecos. You see, my first ship was all male, because that was prior to combat exclusion changing. My second ship had a unit that was mostly female. There were 5 men and 17 women. I was responsible for supervising those women. The worst day of my professional life was the night that my number 2 in command came up to my stateroom with 3 letters in his hand. They were letters that were written by the female sailors in my unit, accusing one of the male sailors of sexual assault, sexual harassment, and rape. I was 26 years old, operating independently in the Indian Ocean, where I had a captain who was a civilian, because the vessel that I was on was operated by civilians. I had to decide at that moment what I was going to do, and I took action. What I did was, the next morning, I immediately transferred the accused to another ship. I didn't know if he was guilty or innocent at that point, but I had a responsibility to create an environment for my sailors that was safe, and I could only do that by separating the parties. The second thing I did was I picked up the phone at sea, and I called Naval Criminal Investigative Services in Singapore, and I told them I had a problem. You see, even at 26 years old, I had enough sense to know that I was not capable of investigating myself, and I needed help because what was reported to me was criminal. And then the third thing that I did was I informed my chain of command in writing. When my Navy captain flew from Oakland, California to Singapore to help me get my arms around the situation, the only thing that he was critical of was the fact that I did it in writing, as opposed to calling him before I did that. I told him, no sir, I don't need permission to do what I know is morally right. I took the action that I needed to do in order to protect my sailors. And in my final assignment, I was on staff at the United States Naval Academy. You know, while I was there as an undergrad, I felt as though there were some deficiencies in the way that future military officers were trained. And I decided that if I had the opportunity to go back, that I would go back and take the knowledge that I obtained at sea in order to develop the next generation of officers. I got a letter just today, and I'm going to read to you from that letter. Are there any teachers in the audience right now? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So, Pat Eliason is one of those students you knew who had all the potential in the world, or was just giving you grief the whole time he's in your class. So this kind of puts this in context. So Pat writes me and he says, Bobby, as I take inventory of the people that were instrumental in my getting the chance to take command, he's about to become the commanding officer of the USS Sullivans. You are one of the people that I felt I needed to thank. Thank you for giving a 20-year-old kid the kick in the tail that I needed and the teaching me the lessons that I still learn today. I look forward to our paths crossing again soon and really hope that I have to figure out how to properly bring on board a United States Congressman. Pat Rice.